Hello, my name is Michael DeAngelo, and I'm going to provide you a quick overview of the GlassFrog application and how to navigate around GlassFrog. The application is split into three main areas of the screen. The first being the left navigation. The center of the screen is the main body of the application, and this is where you'll spend most of your time is looking at the center. And the very far right is the right navigation. Anytime you click on the right navigation or click on something in the left navigation, it changes the context of the center. So let's start by looking at the left navigation. At the very top, you'll see your name of the organization and the frog icon. Clicking on either one of those will take you back to the main organization, which switches your context to the very top level. In our case, in this example, it is the board. Right beneath that is your name, and this is your personal profile. This shows information about you, the various roles that you fill, what are the accountabilities for those roles, your projects, checklists, etc. The main purpose of this is to actually to view other people's profile. This is what other members of the organization will be able to see about you when they click on your profile information. You can also add tags and modify your profile. The next part beneath here is the search bar, and this allows you to search for anything within your organization. So in this case, if I search for budget, it'll look through the entire organization, find all roles, all policies, all notes, anything related to budget, it'll present and group here, which would be useful certainly for new people onboarding and trying to get understanding of what's, what is the process for budgeting or what's the travel rules, et cetera. This is useful for that. Right beneath that is the personal work area, workspace, if you will. And this shows items that are specifically yours. So inbox are things that you've captured as maybe issues you want to bring up and try to figure out. Workspace is all of your actions and projects. And there's another video just on the workspace. There's a lot there. Agenda items are things that you've captured that you want to bring up in a meeting. You thought about this particular thing, you want to make sure you mention it at the next meeting, get some clarity on it, or whatever it might be. You put it here so it's easily accessible during the meeting. Proposals or any changes to the organization that you have made, or proposals that others have made, and now you have an opportunity to review and provide any response. Checklists are any weekly, monthly, quarterly items that you need to check off for any of your roles that have been captured. Same thing with metrics. These are metrics for your roles in whatever cadence. And goals are the organization key results or goals and targets that you are accountable for and responsible for. So this is your personal work area. The next section is the information about your role specifically. So it's a sort of a shortcut, if you will, to be able to jump right to one of your roles that you fill. So the only thing you'll see here are roles that you fill or circles that you are a member of. Beneath that is the information about the organization, rules of the organization, any member list that you want to download, and a reporting system to download PDF reports of anything about the organization, its organizational structure, its policies, whatever it might be. If you happen to be a GlassFrog administrator for your organization, you'll also see an administrator menu here. So that is the left navigation. Jumping to the right navigation, there are two main portions of the right navigation. The first one is the circle nav, and this allows you to browse around the organization simply by clicking on the various objects in these circles. So you can see I can jump into the product design circle and see various roles. Beneath that, the second portion shows for the current circle, that is the context that I'm looking at, it'll identify the roles in that circle and any subcircles. So in the product development context, I can see that Agile is a role that's in there, and product design is a subcircle of product development. So that is the left and right navigation. And anytime you click on anything in here or anything in the left navigation, you will change the context of what's actually presented and displayed in the center of the screen. So looking at this center in more detail, this is where you'll spend likely most of your time. is multiple tabs that you can choose. The very first one is the Overview tab. And the Overview tab shows for a given role, like product development, circle product development, what is its purpose, who fills it, what are the prioritization strategies, what property or domains, we call it, or does that particular role control, and what are the various accountabilities for that role. In addition, you can, for that particular circle, you can see the roles that are in there or subcircles, who fills it, what's the purpose. For a circle, what are the various members and of that circle, regardless of roles they fill? What are the policies of that circle? What are the role notes that that circle has defined, that any role within that circle has defined? And role notes, you can think of them as handy references, standard operating procedures. It's a place to capture, for the role fillers, to capture useful information about the roles that they might need to reference later on or other people might need to reference. Projects lists the various projects of that circle, and they can be viewed as a Kanban. They can be grouped by either person or by role. They can be presented as a table or as a Kanban and changed, right from here. Checklists are the various weekly, monthly, or some cadence of things that need to be checked off. So in this particular case, search tested every week by the role product design. Similar with metrics, it's the same kind of thing, except it's metrics that are captured like KPIs on a weekly, monthly basis and reported out. Goals are the various goals and targets of this particular circle. And some people refer to them as the objectives and key results. And for each of these goals and targets, what is percent complete? This is an add-on. There's a separate video just on this particular feature, which is a pretty robust feature. And yeah, so that's the center part of the console. There's additionally at the top of the center body, there is a following toggle, and this tells you whether you are following that circle or role. And if you are following a circle or role, what that means is that anytime there's a change to that circle or role, you'll be notified. You can turn on or off the display of the tags. In this case, this particular circle has a tag called development. There's a context sensitive menu. And then if your current context is a circle, or if it's a role that's multiple filled, then the start meeting button shows up as an option. All right, the last thing I'll show you is on the very far left, there is these little circles. These represent organizations. So if you happen to fill multiple organizations using GlassFrog, they will be listed here, and you can just switch from one organization to the other to see your context. There is an option here to chat with GlassFrog, and then a menu here for emailing knowledge support, looking at the knowledge base. If you have a premium on GlassFrog, you have access to the Habit program, also live Q&A sessions that are held monthly by a coach. If you have questions about GlassFrog or any good practices, best practices around self-management or other organizational practice. What's new, and if you happen to be practicing Holacracy, there's a link here for Holacracy resources. So that is the general overview of the GlassFrog application, and hopefully that was helpful.